pollution. This my solution.
I'm joined by Mr. Karma Yonten, the Chief Executive Officer of Greenaway. Greenaway is the Bhutan's first privately owned waste management firm. So Karma, tell us, how did this idea about waste management evolve in your head, when you first started it?
Yeah, so I've been repeatedly saying all this. Now, the issue was waste management is nothing new in other part of the world, but here in Bhutan, it's fairly a new concept still. And when we started, it was back in the year 2009 when we first thought about waste management. And we felt the need of starting a waste management company simply because, the volume of waste generation today has increased drastically comparing to the years, back those years. Now, a simple comparison, if I have to make, it is the data compiled by Ministry of Works and Human Settlement. They said back in the year 1994, our capital city used to generate just 8 tons of trash. And in the year 2004, it is believed that we started collecting more than 25 tons of trash. And today we are generating more than 61 tons. So the figure has increased by 6-7 folds, So that was the main reason why we started. And then immediately the moment we felt that there is a scope for private waste management company, because we by that time we traveled to landfill and we could find that most of the recyclable, the trash disposed was recyclable, that had some value in it, which had some second-hand use, which can be reused. So that approach wasn't there. So that instant, we felt like we should start our own private waste management company, and that's how we started with our project.
But what you told me yesterday while I was talking to you informally was that there were other entrepreneurs who were interested, who had a proposal all drafted. But now we see you're the only one there.
No.
Or you're the one, you happen to be the first one.
Yeah, now, officially I think we are the first waste management organization but by the time we started, we then later, was approached by a lot of people, and people whom I met, qualified people, they said this is a very nice venture. They were thinking about this, but sadly, none of them came forward. So in that way, I think we became somehow the first and only private waste management initiative till now.
And then when you're talking about, you told us earlier that you saw cash in trash, and then you started as a profit, and you actually saw there was money there in the trash.
Yes.
So did you estimate that you were going to make money immediately, or you had this long-term plan of making money?
Let me be very honest here. Waste management organization, when we think, definitely we go by balance sheet. That is there. But one should always keep in mind, today a vision of a thoughtful citizen will be definitely to see a very clean Bhutan. That is the vision of any thoughtful people. So do we, we are getting in line with their vision too. Our vision is to have definitely a beautiful country, as a very clean city. But along with that vision, we are somehow able to make cash out of trash, So we say, we are we are profit-oriented organization. We do focus in balance sheet, but more than anything, I think the more cash we make, the better the city is going to look like. It's going to be more beautiful. And as we are able to collect more of trash, the government's expenses on collecting trash will be reduced drastically. So from those front also we need to look upon. But for us, yes, we are profit-oriented company, so we would like to make cash out of trash, and there is some cash in trash, but not as big volume as other developed nation has. And that's the reason. That's the only reason I feel today personally that none of the industrialists or none of the entrepreneurs past thought about it, because the volume is not so attractive. It is not attracting to the investors. And for people like us, I think it's well and good enough.
No, we already had the city corporation collecting trash in the past. Even they started it as government owned.
Yes.
So how did you think that you were going to make money there? Because government was doing that.
Yeah. So it's like this. What municipality or Thomde today is doing is they're doing the work that they are supposed to, but they can add a lot of value in it, value in the services that they are providing. Sadly, today they are collecting it and disposing it off directly to the landfill. There is no recovery processes happening. So there is where we saw the gap and where we thought we can play a part. by recovering trash before dumping it in the landfill. Tromde is doing the job of collecting and disposing it off to the landfill. But as for the mandate and what Tromde themselves feel today is it has to be outsourced to private sector because everybody accepts that public service delivery is not so efficient till today. So until and unless it is provided to private sector, I'm very sure the service is going to remain as same as it is now.
So you want more things to be privatized that Tromde is taking up just now?
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we have been talking and we've been following up with Tromde on that matter for quite some time. It's been now more than 4 years we have been talking on these issues. But before we came into existence, what we gathered those days, the information was like Tromde is going to outsource it. So that was the reason when they said they're going to outsource, and from that very instant till today, 2014, it's been 4 years they have to outsource. But we are hoping for a positive response from them. Earlier it's going to be better for them because by outsourcing, public sector is going to save money even Tromde can save money because they are going to outsource to people. A simple example, today it is believed and estimated that more than 11 million is invested just to collect trash from city, from the households. It is collected and disposed. And I'm sure if private sector is to be involved, private sector will perform that work at a better value. A private sector can provide that services at 9 million and thereby government saving 2 million, very simple mathematics. But again, while involving private sector are going to have efficiency approaches. They are going to go for cost cutting measures, but they are definitely going to improve the services. And that is where we see ourselves beating down the line if they happen to outsource it.
So you see that Greener Way and the waste management should be totally given to the Greener Way or initiative like that.
Yeah, not exactly to Greener Way,
And then they can focus on something else, other areas.
Yes, they have
and then
lot
they can
of
be
works,
more efficient.
I think, they have a lot of other works that they need to focus on. For example, as Mr. Mayor has recently mentioned that they have the work of streets, they have the work of street lights, they have the work of transportations in town. So in structures are there, drains are there. They have a lot of other works. So I think they are overburdened in some way. So when they are overburdened, the only solution for any organization when they are overburdened is they will have to outsource it. And while outsourcing, they will have to make sure there should be a monitoring body which will look upon how things are happening. But they will have to do this someday. And I'm sure, and I'm not saying that they should outsource it to Greener Way. By the time when they call on the bid or expression of interest from private sectors, there will definitely be some parties who are going to get interested. So whoever can offer a better package, whoever has that experience, whoever can offer better services or efficient, who can input some better efficiencies should be given. And we're not saying we need it.
Because you said you are the only one in the business there.
So far,
yes.
But I am expecting competitions. Let me be very honest. Unless we don't have a competitor, I'm sure we may not be able to provide a better services. We do need competitions. But we should also keep in mind that Thimphu is not a big size, The city is not so big size. Today, maybe 21,000 households are there in Thimphu. So it is a market for maybe 2 to 3 ventures.
Okay, Karma, you brought up a very interesting point there. We'll cover that later.
Yes.
But now just for, you have selected one song for us.
Yes.
And then Cash and Trash.
Thank you very much.
So we'll play that song. Before we play that song, can you tell us something about this song?
No, I think the song has won an award. I'm not sure which award is that.
It's MTV award.
So it's a very popular song, and I think such songs should be played in Bhutan, and we need to have our own young people doing this. And this is a song, where you see all the young artists, young kids are doing this. And I'm sure this type of songs will encourage young people. And at this age, if you are taught about cash is trash, so it's a very nice concept we are giving to our future people.
Okay. And just for the information for our listeners there, we are also recording this program to be packaged for TV. You can watch it on coming Monday. And then the way the Karma has described about the song, hopefully we'll be able to put that song on air on TV for you to watch it and then see how well Karma described it. And please enjoy this song.
Yeah, no more pollution. This my solution. Make it clean, make it clean.
Villas living here, Delta they call here. And born here. We survive
for revival. AI filled with polluted babble.
Sky limit everyday hustle, cause I'm the slum building a muscle. Clean up the street, recycling the trash. Save environment and make some cash.
People wake up and wonder right about outside. The narrow that street, shanty bull muddy shacks. Discard the garbage, kids playing on field parks. Within the atmosphere of alcohol, violence and drugs. Education, meditation, a distance up in them.
No more pollution, trash is cash. This my solution, trash is cash. No more pollution, trash is cash. This my solution, trash is cash.
Okay, welcome back. I'm Ashok Tirwa. I'm in conversation with Karma Yonten, the Chief Executive Officer of Greenaway. And Karma, now so far you have been quite successful to take care of environment
It depends
and employment.
Yes.
And the other thing is economy.
Yes, la. So it depends on how what there are so many people how they look upon things. So from our end, we may not be successful for the people, other people, but from our own organization, we have able to meet our own objectives or vision that we had. In the meaning, like creating an employment, which myself being an entrepreneur and having employed myself with a lot of people now, having started an initiative with just 8 people now, we are almost 42. Not almost, we are exactly 42, and that is a good number of employment we have created. La. So we are successful in that. And more than anything, la, more than employment, I think it is the environment that matters to us. La. This thing that had been brought so much into limelight by media trees, overflowing landfill. La. The only landfill that Bhutan has or Thimphu has today is overflowing. La. And having now Greenaway, recovering a lot of metric tons of recyclable trash from the landfill has increased the lifespan of the landfill in that way, So we have recovered thousands of metric tons of plastic waste. So that has increased the lifespan of the landfill. So that is one of our major achievement we have made. So that is there. And economically, this waste management is very informal sectors. And I should be also very bold enough to say that it's not only Greenaway, there are a lot of other informal sectors involved in this waste management. One need to respect them or appreciate them, because there are scavengers and rag pickers in towns who are collecting trash, making a living out of it. Now having our facility set up there, they're able to make sort of a source of income for them also, So that sort of informal economy, we are able to create. So we have achieved quite a lot in these 3 perspectives now.
So then, so far there has been challenges also for you. And what are those challenges, and how did you overcome?
No, this waste management is a challenge to government today. Is a big challenge to them. And for us as a private organization, the biggest challenge for us, because waste management involves so many stakeholders. Everybody's a stakeholder. Today we are here, but even you are my stakeholder in some way, because you are generating trash. So every citizen of the country is involved in this waste management. Everybody should be mindful. So for us, the biggest challenge is education. We are not able to educate every section of people. Now for us, what we do for education purposes, awareness and education, I've been visiting a lot of schools. I've visited more than 72 schools of our own initiative, and our intention is to educate them, create awareness about waste management. That has been our biggest challenge. And secondly, financial constraint is always there, because we are entrepreneurs. We are not that from an industrialist who was already there, set up firm, trying to do something new. We have financial constraints, but we are now having educated a lot of people. People are understanding waste management. They are being very mindful before disposing of trash. So in that way, I'm sure
And
someday.
you are also closely working with the schools, and then schools are collecting, PET bottles.
Yes,
for you.
yes,
And
la.
how does that work?
No, it's a program called RAW, Race Against Waste. So what we propose to schools, schools can collect trash, and we are offering better value to schools. Better value because some examples are Jim Namgil School, Changsamto schools, and there are a lot of schools. If I have to name a few, those are some of the schools who have been actively participating. So with the schools, what we are doing is these are value-added education that we wanted to give to kids. Value-added education. Now, beside that wholesome education or school's curriculum, now students started valuing trash. they know that can be done, something. There's recyclable value in it. So we approach schools, and almost 60% of the schools in Thimphu have agreed working with us, and now we are collecting trash, PET bottles from them. And with that, whatever they're collecting, we're buying it. And end of the day, they're able to make something out of trash. And by doing this process, a very nice system is in place. Now, teachers need not ask kids to bring Newton 10 or Newton 20 to buy brooms or sweepers. They can buy it from themselves, from that budget. So we are doing that activity, and our intention is not making students work on it, but our long-term goal is to make sure that students learn about waste management.
When you talk about, when you said that earlier that you have taken your own initiative and we're gone to several schools to inspire them how to manage waste.
Yes,
but
yes.
There are people who are really inspired by you, and then they have started their own business, and that is where you created your own competitions, I guess.
That I
Tell us about it.
I didn't While I was trying to inspire young people, I never thought that I'm inviting my competitor. But that is something that comes in as a package, and now I'm not able to ignore that. And I know they're going to stand as a competitor. And especially when I go to colleges and when I'm invited during orientation program, I always try to tell young people that one can stand as an entrepreneur, and Bhutan still needs a lot of entrepreneurs. So while saying that, I have invited quite a lot of competitors now, I believe, but I don't know how far that's true, but from the very, thing that I've got is there are young people who are trying to do this thing, but I tell them that, there's a market for 2 to 3, not more than that. So if there's more, definitely, there's going to be competition, and we might have to kill each other, but in very competitive way, in a very healthy way.
Because how can there be a healthy way when you have so much advantage over these guys who are trying to start, because you have a lot of government supports?
No, well,
you don't have to pay taxes for next 20 years.
Yes, for that reason, I will have to tell, it's not the support that we are getting from government just by Greenaway, ever by Greenaway. Now, as for the economic development policy 2010 and financial incentive, fiscal incentives, so that facilities can be available by any waste management firms, whoever start this waste management companies, it can be availed. But let me also tell you, as I might touch a little bit to entrepreneur's life also. It is not easy. I'll have to tell this also. We have.
So you're discouraging them on air?
No, I'm just telling them the fact of life. Brutal fact is always better than sweet dreams. Fact is always better. So we have been in this, but all I can tell them is one need to work hard, and yes, when you're talking about healthy, it can be healthy. When I'm saying healthy,
how?
It may not be healthy between competitor and me, but it's going to be healthy for environment and for stakeholders. Now, for example, if tomorrow Greenaway is there to collect household disposals, household waste, we might offer the service at Newton 50 per household. But if there is a competitor, if he stands for Newton 40 to every household, so there is a public advantage in it, So that in that way, I say it's going to be healthier competition. And even among us, the more competitor we have, the better excited we get, panic we get, So we try to explore a lot of ways how to work with public. So indirectly, nation is going to benefit, Not thinking individually, but definitely country as a whole is going to benefit if we have more competition.
Okay. So with your experience, which all places have a potential to start a business like yours? You are Thimphu oriented, right?
Yes, yes.
You are based in Thimphu. You collect the trash from recyclable waste from Thimphu.
Any small town is qualified for in any small town. I think an entrepreneur can stand if they have the will to do this as a profession. Any small town now, for example, Wamrong, Nganglam, and all. Town B or beside Tromde, these are the towns which still has scope, because in every area trash generation is there, even in blocks, but may not be of very good volume. Thimphu, you must be thinking of a good volume, but remember the working capital required and manpower required to meet the services here. But in other Zongkak, it's going to be same. And if nobody ever stands in this waste management in Bhutan, definitely our long-term goal is to be there in almost all the Dzongkhas.
Dzongkhas, you want to expand?
Yes, we are thinking about it and we are closely working on it. And once we are able to get the service from Thimphu Tromde, if they outsource it to us, once it is set up here, then we would like to switch over to other Dzongkhas.
Then the interesting thing about your initiative is it also gave you fame locally and globally.
Well, I'm proud to be.
Let's talk about these moments. When you were invited, and somebody made a documentary on you,
Yes,
or
sir.
the voice of
Well, quite a lot of
documentary called Made in Bhutan.
yes, quite a lot of things that happen. I'm glad and I'm very proud to stand in this. More than this, I think, more than myself, I'm proud because I think many young people can learn a lot from the exciting journey that we have gone through. All time I say, though global recognitions are there, a lot of national support is there, but one needs to be very mindful after getting this. I'm being very mindful now. I can't be. I always tell them solutions has to be sought, not only for even as an entrepreneur. You can't just think of making money, but if you choose some ventures where you are socially responsible, So I'm trying to inspire young people in that way, And when I'm more than internationally, when I'm representing Bhutan, there's something always proud to be, and I've always felt it, and I've always valued it.
So when you talk about competition, you see, have you ever thought of collaborating with these young minds who want to do a similar kind of business like yours?
Collaboration is the best thing we can explore, I think, but it depends on how we work with them, or what are their proposals for us. So it's going to be scratch my back and scratch yours. So we don't want to have this competition. There can always be competition also. We can cooperate and work together. So we will explore on it, and we are very much willing to work under that model also, And there's always the new model of business is private partnership. We can always think of that, two private people doing the same thing, but with the very same objectives, and meeting the objective is well and good.
No, you told me that you slightly touched on your future plans. That
Yes, sir.
if everything works well, you want to expand it to the other districts of the country.
Yes,
and what are the other plans that you have for future?
Well, I'll be. Greenaway is all about. We are all about waste management, and we have never thought of landing in other ventures. But waste management is something that we would really want to explore, and this is not a simple subject. There are a lot can be done in waste management, which again, when I'm going on air, might be inviting some competitors. But
I think competition is good.
yeah,
You agree?
So there's a huge scope, and I've been telling there's plastic waste, there's paper waste, there's glass waste, which one can think about. So there are a lot of waste, There's now electric cars are there. Battery waste can be handled. So these batteries are very much hazardous, So we will branch out in that way, So waste management, we basically want to be one-stop solution for almost all type of waste,
I was thinking more if you could touch on the immediate things that you have for the future, for the immediate future.
No, now
You're already working on
now in
one plant in what?
No, we have in Bavisa that's going to be by next month. Groundworks will be beginning, and by 8 months we expect this work to be done. And that facility is called Material Recovery Facility, MRF, and it's going to be a facility where before trash is thrown to landfill, it will come to our site, and then we are having a lot of processes of recovering trash from our station. So that is exactly one thing that we are working on. Then after that, I'm sure by that time Thimphu Tromde should be able to at least call on expression of interest from public sectors, private sectors. So that is our plan, next plan. But more than anything, first for next 8 months, we'll be quite busy for that to have a very professional facility, one-stop solution for trash, recovering almost all valuables.
So sounds like a huge, reasonably, it needs a good amount of investment.
Yes.
So how are you managing it? Do you have your own capital now, or somebody's
No,
financing you?
I'm very honest here. Whatever we are today and what Greenaway stands in terms of balance sheet or in social dividends that we have been able to provide to public, we have availed that money from Bhutan National Bank, and we have already discussed to them, and they're very much willing to provide us financial support. And our next project, the cost investment size is going to be almost 37 million, and we will be availing that from BNB. And the best part is like we have no collateral, but somehow we are able to gain trust from Bhutan National Bank. We have quite a good track record now, having availed 10 million loan before and having been able to pay them on time. So that is how we have thought of financial plans, But let me be very, very blunt here that if we are not able to avail, also we'll make sure we raise money. That is our thinking. In our case, we have realized that none of the NGOs or government offices, they have a lot in black and white, but none of them really come forward to support. So
when it comes to money,
not only in money, I think in a lot of issues. So we then realize that to get things done in your own way, I think one has to be very much self independent. So we are trying to do that. Our goal is that, but BNB is there with us so far.
So congratulations for what you have achieved so far.
Thank you very much.
And I hope and wish you the very best for what you have in mind for the future. And thank you for joining us, Karma.
Thank you very much indeed.
So we were in conversation with Chief Executive Officer of Greener Way, and we'll bring you a similar program next Wednesday. Do join us then. And I'm Ashok Tirwa. This is goodbye.
No more pollution. This my solution. Make it clean, make it clean.
Villas living here, Delta they call here, and born here. It's a way for revival.